So good Tuesday morning to you, and we have so much in store for you this week. We want to say thanks so much for joining us last night in our prayer. This week is WM week, and so they'll be taking over our Bible study on Wednesday night. But they've given me the opportunity to continue doing our devotions, and I'm so thankful for them. So hear what I started yesterday with, treating with the newness of a situation. I want to go back to that this morning because I want to kind of just drill down a little deeper. Hear what the Bible says in Daniel chapter 9, beginning at verse 1. It says, "It was the first year of the reign of Darius the Mede, the son of Ahasuerus, who became king of the Babylonians." And immediately you begin to appreciate that there's not just a new situation, that it is his first year, but it may also have been a very uncomfortable situation. It's one thing to start afresh, it's another thing to start afresh in a hostile environment, in a culture that is not yours, with expectations that are clear, but something you have never really lived up to before. And in those environments, sometimes we become very, very intimidated, and sometimes very hesitant in how we should proceed. But Daniel is saying this from a position of hearing from God. In the midst of the newness of Darius, Daniel is hearing from God. So sometimes the newness of other people's actions and behavior triggers in us our own space and place, and allows us to give thought, serious thought, to what is happening in and around our space. So Daniel is having a conversation with God and a praying and fasting, and we'll walk through that later on in the week. But I want you to get, Darius is having some issues, but Daniel is also having some concerns because it's resting heavily on him. And sometimes we are in a space where other people are intimidated and uncomfortable, and they are really pouring out their hearts, trying everything, and it brings us into a real space of recognizing we're not all of that. We're struggling as well, because whatever they're doing is impacting on us, and we need then to find God. We rest in His promises. We rest in His promises, but we find solace in His presence. And sometimes it's not just the comfort and direction we need. It's really the solace of knowing He's near, He's close. That we find when we reflect on who He is and when we communicate with Him in prayer. So you have two things that I'm going to challenge you to do. I want you to consider other people's actions. Bring into our space a reality that we're not always in a space that is comfortable, and sometimes we're intimidated. Secondly, God is right there with you, and their issues, though it may be impacting on you, your God could also impact on them and on you. So stay close to God today. Make sure you get your prayer really, really certain and strong and good and consistent, because in the midst of all of this, it is your communication with God that will keep you.